Good morning, everybody. Today, I would like to read something on behalf of Black History Month, as well as the past holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And this book right here was actually written by Doreen Rappaport and illustrated by Brian Collier. And I'm going to read it with you guys today. You can see the pretty images already. Going to learn a little bit more about our history wrapped in a small bundle, and this one's called Martin's Big Words: The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. There's a lot of facts in here, a lot of information from the author, just to give you a little bit of background in a smaller book about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to read it, and I will go ahead and close up like this so you guys can see as well. And it says, everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad, until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. In church, Martin sang hymns. He read from the Bible. He listened to his father preach. These words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too. It's Martin as a baby. As a baby. Martin grew up. He became a minister like his father, and he used the big words he heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. Everyone can be great. Here he is. One of his preach sessions. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And that is indeed true. Beautiful imagery. He said together when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together. That is indeed true. In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. Picture of the bus. For 381 days, they walked to work and church and school. They walked in the rain and in the cold and in the blistering heat. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree they could sit anywhere they wanted. When the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. As we all should. We all stand for something. Together we rise. In the next 10 years, Black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. White ministries told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop, but they kept on marching. They knew what they were fighting for. Wait. For years I've heard the word wait. We have wanted more than 340 years for our rights. Wait it. They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some Black Americans wanted to fight back with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them of the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world. Lead by example. Martin Luther King Jr. always made sure to lead by example. He too was human. He knew the feeling. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's words. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed. His brother's house was bombed, but he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped because God is with this movement. Amen to that. The marches continued. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protest, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down. One of his most famous speeches, I Have a Dream. Dr. Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about the people all over the world, and the people all over the world admire him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others how to fight with words, not fists. Little black girl in representation of all that he fought. Martin went wherever people needed help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who weren't on strike. He walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. On his second day there, he was shot. He died. His big words are alive for us today. Freedom, peace, together. I have a dream, love. And on the back of this book, there's many events in which he participated in. They give you details. Like how back on January 15, 1929, he was born in Atlanta, Georgia. On July 2nd, 1964, the Civil Rights Act is signed prohibiting discrimination and in public accommodations and in employment. How we're all able to work in the same places nowadays. And in October 1981, Martin Luther King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Change, also called the King Center, opens up in Atlanta, Georgia. And so on and so forth. Different events which are possible thanks to Dr. King. And that is the end. Quick little fact book, as well as a small story to give you a little bit of background and insight on one of our most famous Black figures in our Black History Month, just to give you something to think about as to the reason why we're all able to be here today and where together we stand, divided we fall. Thank you, and I hope everybody enjoys Black History Month and a representation of how we all made it here today and how we continue to make that movement on behalf of Dr. King, on behalf of ourselves, our children, our generations to come. Thank you, everybody. Peace.